Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tucker, and in today's video, we're doing an NBA trade machine. It's been a minute. There hasn't been a ton of trade stuff going on ever since, all the James Harden rumors cooled down. But in today's video, I think it's time to start talking about possible moves for the Toronto Raptors to make. They have not gotten off to a very good start at all. They look a little bit lost as a team. The Pascal Siakam thing is looking very, very strange. And then the Kyle Lowry, upcoming free agency part of it all makes me think that it's possible there could be some moves coming here in Toronto to potentially set themselves up for the next era of Raptors basketball. And so I had you guys send me some trade machine ideas over on Twitter, and that's what we're going to be taking a look at in today's video. The first of which is we're just going for it right off the bat, right? The biggest trade we have in a whole trade machine is the first one, and it comes from Josh, who's been featured in a couple of different trade machines here at this point. And he says that Houston gets an all-star player in Siakam along with control of Toronto's picks for the next 4 seasons. Toronto solves their scoring deficiencies with a 2-time scoring champ, plus adding wing depth in Tucker. So they get PJ Tucker, James Harden, and a pick swap in 2022 in the first round. And the Rockets get Norman Powell, Pascal Siakam, Malachi Flynn, that pick swap that I mentioned, and 3 future first-round picks from Toronto. Okay, that is a huge deal that Josh sent over here. So he kind of outlined the reasoning here, but let's talk about why this does or doesn't make sense. So for Toronto, I do think they would take a look at this. I'm not positive that they'd be willing to give up, so much control of their future picks. I know that we've seen a lot of draft picks involved in possible James Harden trade scenarios, but this does feel like a lot for a front office in Toronto that, typically, even though they are aggressive, they're very smart and they're very intelligent about what they're doing. And so they might not just throw everything they have at Houston. But you could, I'm not saying this is the case, but you could start to make a case that maybe the Siakam contract is a significant mistake. And so not only are you getting Harden and you're getting PJ Tucker, but you're also maybe getting out from under that contract before everybody else realizes that it's not one of the better contracts in the league. So for Toronto, I think they take a look at this. You've got James Harden, you've got Kyle Lowry, you've got some other pieces on the roster, OG, Van Fleet, whatever. It's a very backcourt heavy team. Maybe you make another move and you flip Lowry for somebody else and you figure out, some of the issues in the front court. But it at least, I think, raises their ceiling. Now, it would definitely be an issue, how many backcourt players they have and how many guards. They've got 4 really, really good guards, and they'd have to kind of figure out what to do with that, although OG's more of a wing. But at the end of the day, I think this does raise their ceiling. For Houston, if they like Pascal Siakam, if Pascal Siakam fits the cornerstone franchise star type mold that they're looking for in a James Harden trade, I do think they would take a look at this. And Norman Powell's no slouch either, by the way. He's been a very, very up and down player throughout his career, but when he's up, he is very, very good. And you get all those future first round picks as well that you don't really know where those are going to land with James Harden now in Toronto, but it all kind of depends on their evaluation of Siakam. If they see him like I'm starting to see him, where it's maybe not a great contract, he's going to be overpaid, he's still young, but he's not really going to improve anymore, they're saying no to this. If they think that Siakam is like a perennial All-NBA guy at 26 years old under contract for the next 4 seasons, maybe they take a look at this. Next up now is a trade sent to me from Wobbly, in which the Kings get Patrick McCaw and again, Pascal Siakam in exchange for Buddy Hield, Marvin Bagley, and 3 second-round picks. He says the Kings get a proven near star while getting rid of a possibly disgruntled starting caliber but still high potential young big man in Bagley, and a more than good but not great 2 guard to provide offense. Lots of caveats and adjectives there from our guy Wobbly here. Okay, so Sacramento. The Marvin Bagley thing is really, really intriguing to me. I don't think we're at the point yet where we can do a trade machine about him because it's just been like weird trade stuff. And it's not like, he's on a regular contract. He's on his rookie deal. There's not a ton of incentive for Sacramento to move him. But it does intrigue me a little bit, specifically in a scenario like this. Toronto is a team that needs help in the front court. They need a big. They need a 5, right? I think Marvin Bagley's best position is the 5, and they've been fantastic at developing players over the years. Why wouldn't they be a perfect Marvin Bagley fit? And you're getting another real player here in exchange for Siakam and someone like Buddy Hield. Then you've got Lowry, you've got Hield, you've got OG, you've got Van Vliet, and you've got Bagley in the front court that could end up being better than Siakam down the road if he reaches his full potential that I still think that he definitely has. Is it going to happen? I have no idea, but that would be the case if you're Toronto, that you kind of talk yourself into this. Now, for Sacramento, the Bagley thing's a disaster, you get away from it. The Hield thing is a minor disaster, you get away from it. Neither of those guys are especially happy in Sacramento. You bring in, another player as a part of the 1-2 punch there in Sacramento. You've got Fox, you've got Halliburton, you've got Siakam, you've got the makings of a pretty significant team there in Sacramento. and you get away from the uncertainty of the Bagley thing. You get those bad vibes of Bagley and Hield out of there because they don't want to be there anyway, and you move forward from there. I'm not saying either team would say yes, but this is super, super interesting. The Bagley thing just continues to intrigue me. Wobbly, I thank you for sending this in. I think this is a really interesting deal. Next up, we have a trade from Ace, in which he says that the Raptors would receive DeAndre Jordan, Caris LeVert in exchange for Kyle Lowry. Okay, so here's my initial thought on this. For Brooklyn, I kind of like the Kyle Lowry fit. I don't love the two smaller-ish guards in the backcourt at the same time. Kyrie and Kyle Lowry at the same time. I don't know how that dynamic would work, especially, but just from a basketball standpoint, it's kind of interesting. And I like Caris LeVert. I like Caris LeVert a lot. But if you're looking at this Nets roster, you're probably thinking this year or next year is about as good a chance as they're going to have at going to get somebody, to go and make this a championship level team. And, maybe you think Lowry is that guy, you can re-sign him after the year, and then that's your group. Obviously, you're giving up a much younger player in LeVert. Maybe they like him better long-term to continue to grow alongside Kyrie and Durant. But if they want a more proven player, then they go out and get Lowry. The problem here, of course, annoyingly and frustratingly, is that my understanding of the Nets situation is DeAndre Jordan is untouchable because Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant want him there. He was part of the whole package deal when he got signed there. And that's my understanding, is that DeAndre Jordan can't be involved in trades, because if you do, it's going to upset Kyrie and KD, and you can't do that. So that specific part of this deal doesn't work. The concept of Kyle Lowry on the Brooklyn Nets, I'm interested in, and I do think that Toronto would be interested in Caris LeVert. Again, they've got the whole, player development thing going for them in Toronto. They can make Caris LeVert an even better player than he already is. Jordan contract isn't great, so you're giving up some cap flexibility here, but still an interesting move to take a look at. Again, specifically, I like the Kyle Lowry thing in Brooklyn the most out of all this. Second to last now, we have a deal from Alex, in which Kyle Lowry goes to Denver in exchange for Gary Harris, PJ Dozier, that guy, and a 2021 first-round pick. He says Denver gets a point guard, Murray can play the two, the Raptors start a rebuild. Okay, so for Toronto, the mindset here is, maybe you're not super interested in bringing back Kyle Lowry in free agency moving forward. You love him as a player. He's been awesome to Toronto, but you're looking to go into a different era of Raptors basketball, and just having a 36-year-old point guard just isn't part of that. So you're thinking, let's get value out of Lowry. We're probably not going to keep him after the season anyway. Let's go ahead and get a nice two in Gary Harris. He's a solid player, still kind of young, still could be something. Dozier has actually been pretty good for them as well. You get that guy as well. And the 2021 future picks. You're getting a future pick, you're getting Harris, you're getting Dozier, something out of Kyle Lowry, right? At least mildly interesting. For the Nuggets, this is very interesting. Kyle Lowry and Jamal Murray as the backcourt of your team. You're replacing Harris with Lowry, who, Harris has been such an up and down player, but provides a little bit of a cleaner fit in the backcourt there in Denver alongside Jamal Murray. And you can make the case would just be a better fit than someone like Kyle Lowry. But playoff experience, championship experience, maybe this is a ceiling raiser type move for Denver. They're not really sacrificing a ton other than that 2021 pick, which is probably going to be late for them anyway. Another interesting landing spot here for Kyle Lowry. I'm not positive either team says yes to this, because I think it's just a little bit odd. I think Toronto would be kind of weary of trading someone like Lowry unless they're getting like a significant asset back. I don't think there's a significant asset in this deal. And at the same time, I think Denver looks at this and says, does this actually help us get better? Is this actually a good fit with Murray and Lowry? And they probably say no too. So interesting deal, but I'm not positive either team says yes. And last up now is a deal from Naz. And he says that the Mavericks get Kyle Lowry. I like that. In exchange for Tim Hardaway Jr. and Jalen Brunson. He says the Mavs get a veteran to help lead the team alongside Luke and Kristaps. So Raptors take back Hardaway Jr. is expiring, and a good young point guard in Brunson. Okay, so let's just talk about the part of this that I like, which is Kyle Lowry in Dallas. I like the toughness that he provides, the championship experience, having another guy there alongside KP and Luka. Still doesn't interfere with whatever they want to do in 2021 free agency, so they can still go out, they can re-sign Lowry, they can go out and get somebody else, they can try and make something else happen, whatever the case may be. I like moves that add to this Dallas roster without giving up significant assets while also keeping open their 2021 free agency possibilities. And this trade checks all the boxes, and I think Lowry would be a really, really cool fit there in Dallas. Now, for Toronto, you're not getting a ton here, but again, let's just say you want to let Lowry walk at the end of the year anyway. You're basically getting Jalen Brunson for free here because the Tim Hardaway Jr. contract will roll off at the end of the year, and now you have Jalen Brunson on your team. Brunson's a really interesting player. I really, really like him. I think he's just a really good professional NBA basketball player. He's a really good point guard that you can have, off the bench, can spot start for you, is going to be able to score, is going to be able to facilitate, plays within the team. And so, you know, I think that would be at least mildly interesting to Toronto, and maybe the Mavericks would be hesitant to part with him. But at the end of the day, this just comes down to, does Toronto want to do it? I think Dallas does this move tomorrow. I just don't know if Toronto looks at this and says that that's enough. I think if you throw in a protected pick from Dallas, then maybe Toronto says yes, but maybe that's too rich and then for the Mavs. So you can go back and forth from there. But the concept in general, Lowry and Dallas, I do like that. And yeah, there you have it. That is going to be the end of today's video, and I thank you all very much for watching. Once again, my name is Tucker. If you missed any of my previous videos, then be sure to check out the boxes on screen. I upload twice a day, every day, so it's a great place for consistent NBA content. You can also leave a like rating on the video as well. Helps me out a ton, lets me know that you're enjoying the content, and helps it get out to more people on YouTube. And you can check me out at various socials at the bottom of the screen. They're in a link tree down in the description below. With all those things said, hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.